Jen?
It's 5:26.
Oh, we've got so much time. I don't even know what we're doing.
Hey Alex, how are you? Shabbat Shalom.
Don't worry about it now. But will you grab it from the sanctuary? Yeah.
An hour.
Oh, people have asked me that.
1 hour.
I think I'm gonna sit and let Lauren up here because you were doing. Sure. Just
Fine. Whatever you think.
Is it fine?
I know.
Don't wear heels.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll let you guys start because I feel like there's some duet stuff.
yeah there is. Shabbat Shalom. Welcome, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
We hope you are cooling off a bit from, I haven't been outside in a few hours, but from what I understand is a very hot day outside. And we are really pleased to welcome you, whether you are here in person or joining us on live stream, to our Shabbat service this evening. We're going to begin with words from Psalm 137. By the waters of Babylon, we sat down and wept, and we remember thee, Zion. If you know this tune, it's maybe a familiar one. Please join us. Please feel free to lift your voices with us. We'll begin in English, and then we will sing in Hebrew. Again, Shabbat Shalom. We prepare to bring in the light of Shabbat. We'll invite you to join with us as we sing our blessing blessing the lighting of the candles. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Amen. Coming back to this text of Psalm 137, before we continue with Kabbalat Shabbat, we want to just orient ourselves to where we are in the Jewish calendar. You may or may not be aware that this past week we honored the holiday of Tisha B'Av, the 9th of the month of Av, and this is an important date in the Hebrew calendar. It represents a day of mourning, a day when Jews come together to honor our history, the destruction of the temple in Jerusalem, a time when we were sent into exile, which is where this psalm comes from, remembering sitting by the waters of Babylon and longing for our homeland and the land out of which we had been expelled. And so we honor this day through prayers, through fasting, if that's part of your religious practice, and also through song and through liturgical poetry, just like this one. And the Shabbat that follows Tisha B'Av, this day of sadness, of collective mourning, is called Shabbat Nachamu, the Shabbat of consolation. And so we go from the weeks leading into Tisha B'Av, which are considered some of the saddest weeks in our calendar, where we are supposed to be honoring that time of mourning, into a time of consolation and reprieve, where we turn from mourning back into, we turn our sadness into rejoicing once again, and we sort of remind ourselves what it means to come together, not only in sadness, but in joy, and also in consolation. And you'll hear more from Rabbi Sternberg later about what this represents and sort of the significance of this in this particular moment in time. But for now, we're going to sing this piece again. It's also, it can be sung as a round. So you will hear us sing this in English and in Hebrew, and then we're going to sing it together as a round, and you can join with any one of us, with Matt, with myself, with Lauren, our cantorial intern, who we're so happy to welcome to the Bima. And please do lift your voices with us and join us in this beautiful melody.
We lay down and wept.
Turning ahead to page 20 in your prayer books, or you can follow along with the screens, to Lecha Dodi, welcoming in the Sabbath bride. Please join us. This one will certainly be familiar, and we love to hear your voices singing with us.
Continuing with our liturgy, we turn to Baruch Hu, page 146, if you're following along in the prayer book. Hebrew, Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chochma poteach she'arim, uvitbuna meshane itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umesader et hakochavim, b'mishmerotehem barakia kirtzono, borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or.
Umavir yom umevi laila, umavdil ben yom uben laila, Adonai tzvaot shemo, El Chai v'kayam, tamid imloch aleinu leolam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim.
And we join together responsively. In each age, we receive and transmit Torah. At each moment, we are addressed by the world.
In each age, we are challenged by our ancient teaching. At each moment, we stand face to face with truth.
In each age, we add our wisdom to that which has gone before. At each moment, the knowing heart is filled with wonder.
In each age, the children of Torah become its builders and seek to set the world firm on a foundation of truth. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed.
Please be seated.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol meodecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם, אמת.
Continuing page 151. We worship the power that unites the universe, a promise of harmony for all. Yet that oneness eludes our grasp as imperfection and evil abound. Before our eyes there is a vision of perfection, order, and goodness.
There is evil enough to break the heart, and there is good enough to exalt the soul.
When will redemption come?
When we grant everyone what we claim for ourselves.
Long ago we escaped the tyranny of Egypt. Our people saw the power of the Most High.
We learned God's presence redeems time and event, so we celebrate this power that makes for freedom. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot osefele, nora tehilot osefele.
כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילות עושה פלא, נורא תהילות עושה פלא, מלכותך ראו בניך בוקי הים לפני משה ומרים, זה לי ענו ואמרו אדוני ימלוך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב ויעלום מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים, ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך. Give us a place to rest, O God. Bring us shelter in the long, soft evening shadows of your truth. You are true protection and safety, and in your presence we find love and acceptance. Watch over us as we go forth, prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom, aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. We turn to page 155, and I invite you to please rise for the blessings of the Amidah.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor Mehanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakol, Lezocher Chasei Avot Veimaot, Umevi Gula Lifnei Vneihem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Hozer Umoshia Umagen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, mechayei hakol atarav le'oshia. Mechakel chayim bechesed, mechayei hakol berachamim rabim. Somech noflim ve'rofeh cholim. Umatir asurim, umekayem emunato, lishenei afar, michamocha ba'geburot, umidam elach, melech memit umechayeh, umatzmiach Yeshua, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהלוך סלע. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
Please be seated. And at this point in our service, we turn our thoughts and our prayers to those who are in need of healing, healing of the body or healing of the spirit. This Shabbat, we're praying for Cindy Baker, Baruch Ben Yaakov of Friedel, Emil Batat, Emily Berkowitz, Robbie Blitz, Miriam Chassi Bat Yaakov, Hakohen Vasera, Ada Barbara Corvelli, Alfred Marcus, Josephine McWhorter, Melissa Miller, Gerard Roos, and Gilbert Roos, and Audra Gale Weiss. And of course, we add those that you're holding in your hearts this Shabbat who are in need of healing, again, of the body, of the spirit, and maybe even just a little bit of hope. If you have names you'd like to share with the community, I invite you to do so, and your relationship to the person if you feel so inclined. Bonnie? Alex? Baruch atah Adonai, Rofei HaCholim. Blessed are you, Adonai, who heals the sick. Misha Baruch can be found on the inside cover of your prayer box. Cantor Fishbein mentioned, this is Shabbat Nachamu, Shabbat of comfort, and given the ever-present news in our world, specifically of our sacred homeland across the world, that of Israel, there is maybe no more important time to send prayers of healing to the land of Israel as well. So we join together. I invite you, page 259 in your prayer books, for a prayer for the state of Israel. O Heavenly One, Protector and Redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love, spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there. Amen.
Amen.
And with those prayers for peace in mind, we send peace, an abundance of peace to all here in our own community in Israel and around the world. Shalom Rav, page 164.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov beinecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
When I lead tefillah for our religious school students, sometimes with our ECC students as well, but mostly with our religious school students, and we get ready for a few moments of silent prayer. Sometimes they need a little bit of prompting. Say, what do I say during silent prayer? Or what does that mean to pray in silence? What do I pray for? And I often say that you can think about something that you're grateful for, you can think about something that you're hopeful for, and you can think about something that you're worried about. That's what I kind of charge them to do in those moments. What's something that you're hopeful for? What's something that you're grateful for? And what's something that you're just a little bit worried about? And so tonight, I'll offer that to you. In a world where there are things to be grateful for, things to be hopeful for, and things to be worried about, we'll take just a few moments of silent prayer.
Nachamu, nachamu, Ami omar Elohechem, nachamu, nachamu, Ami omar Elohechem.
Shabbat Shalom. For those of you who haven't or never got the opportunity to visit, the Newseum in Washington, D.C., which is now unfortunately closed, was a museum that was funded by something called the Freedom Forum. It's a nonpartisan U.S. foundation that's dedicated to freedom of the press, freedom of speech, and freedom of thought, and was there to help the public and the media learn to understand each other. And one of my favorite parts of that museum was the Today's Front Page Gallery. It was a wall that every day rotated with the front pages of more than 80 international newspapers. And you can look back at some of the archives of it. Some were truly mundane days. There wasn't a repeat because there was nothing so major going on. Some pages of joy, absolute celebration, and of course, what makes something so newsworthy, some of the darkest days in our world's history. And when I saw this image, I couldn't help but think of that wall. It's a picture of the front page of 5 of the major Israeli newspapers this past Tuesday to symbolize what was none other than a dark day in Israeli democracy. Israel this week is a lesson in how to live in what I imagine is a split screen. It's a lesson in the phrase that a picture is worth 1,000 words, because if you were to zoom in on that black square, right, and imagine what makes that what it is, you can see that it's not actually just a black square, but it's the variety of feelings that represent what is happening in Israel at this time. For example, it could be this one. This is the inside of the Knesset following the vote. Lawmakers looking energized and satisfied with their work, while others had just left the building, fearful, maybe even fuming at what just happened and worried about what may be to come. If you zoom in another part of that black square, you might find some of these, the streets. Protests of anger and fear and worry for their country and for their future. But through that fear, flags are waved with pride and love and hope. And seeing the numbers in which they showed up is not necessarily loss, but maybe even symbolizes a little bit of power. Rabbi Matt wrote to you this week with more details, and there is much more out there, information-wise and policy-wise, that we can, of course, recommend. But all of these images represent the aftermath of Monday afternoon, when the bill to overturn the reasonableness standard passed a third and final Knesset vote needed to ratify it into law. This bill will lend the High Court's authority to strike down government decisions that it deems unreasonable and eliminate a system of checks and balances, leading to the potential for a government system that lacks that democratic badge that Israel so rightfully and proudly wears. It makes me, and maybe some of you, truly worry for our sacred homeland. And that fear is only amplified as any front page as blunt as the ones that I showed you. As blunt as this one means that something is not only broken in the heart of Israel, but maybe even broken in the pulse of the Jewish people. And in these days of brokenness, and days when we feel maybe more polarized than ever, it makes us, as a Jewish people, as the people of Israel, wonder, what do we yearn for in these moments? The timing of this is not lost on us, as this Shabbat following Tisha B'Av, as we mentioned, following the day of mourning that memorializes another great loss in our history, we observe Shabbat Nachamu, the Shabbat of comfort. And to help us observe this special Shabbat, the cantors just sing the words, "Comfort, comfort my people, Nachamu, Nachamu ami." The prophet Isaiah offered these simple words from God to the Jewish people after the temple was destroyed and all hope seemed lost. For Isaiah, comfort existed in the belief that a better day was coming and that good would soon triumph over evil. But for those of us who may not possess the same faith in God that Isaiah does, we merely seek comfort as we struggle with the world that we are living in, which includes days that are represented by magazine covers, newspaper covers, and split-screen images. So taking these words that are on the screen, I want to zoom in on the idea that the artist Delana Arian wrote, seeking comfort as we struggle with the world. Because that's what this moment brings for many of us, including myself. A true struggle with a place that I love and care about, that I believe in, and that I have an undeniable of hope for. It makes me wonder how we as Jews can deal with struggle. In our Torah portion this week, V'Hanan, we recall the Ten Commandments, and Moses speaks the words of the Shema, the watchword of our faith, the credo of Judaism. However you want to name it, the Shema is the essence of our faith. Morning, noon, and night, we say, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. But of course, we can zoom in a little bit further to all of this. Yisrael means to struggle. It's the name Jacob was given after he wrestled with the angel of God in the book of Genesis. Rabbi Arthur Green, in his book, Judaism's 10 Best Ideas, writes, a bit of an alternate translation. Instead of, listen Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one, he writes, listen all you who struggle, all you who wrestle with life's meaning. Being is our God and being is one. He continues by explaining what it means to belong to the people of Israel, is to struggle with God and is to struggle with what is around us. As Jews, we are not asked to blindly accept faith. And the same can be said about the state of Israel. We are not asked to blindly agree with everything that Israel is. We are asked as Jews to support its existence, to have hope for its future, and even to love Israel, but not to unanimously agree with all of its government's decisions. And it's moments like this one, moments where it's hard to agree with every decision and know that something might just not feel right, where I believe we can find some comfort in the act of struggling. I'm angry, I'm upset, I'm disappointed and worried, but I also find comfort in knowing that so many Jews from across the political spectrum are also struggling, seeking an Israel that is democratic, that is equal, that is just, and that is safe and representative of Jews of all stripes from all corners of the world. And that collective struggle that comes from none other place than one of love. That, to me, gives me a sense of comfort. To add one more piece to this, if we go back to the Shema, we have the concept of Israel, or the concept of struggle. And then shortly after that, we have the concept of Echad, of oneness. An Israeli colleague, Rabbi Chaim Shalom, eloquently wrote this week that this prayer also reminds us of the togetherness that we must be as a people. Universally, when one part of humanity falls, it all falls. And particularly, when one part of the Jewish people falls, we all fall. He continues that democracy is not just by the people and of the people, but it must be for the people, all the people as one. The thing about Tisha B'Av is that while it is a day of mourning, it is also a testament to our ability as one people to survive against all odds, finding comfort as we navigate the struggle with resilience and tenacity. Something we are certainly called to do in this moment, finding our way back to that sense of oneness and wholeness, and raising our voices fighting for our sacred homeland, for all the people of Israel. So as I think back to that image of the newspapers and all that is represented in that symbol of struggle, especially on this Shabbat of comfort, I hope you'll join me in praying for peace, praying for stability, and praying for comfort for the land of Israel, for all of her people, and for Jews around the world. Shabbat Shalom. With that, we'll return to our liturgy, the words of Aleinu, page 282, and I'll invite you to please rise.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום
We now come to the words of Mourner's Kaddish, the words that honor the lives of those in our families and our communities who we have lost. As part of honoring their memories, when you hear the name of a loved one, if you feel inclined, we invite you to rise to honor their memory. We're in a period of Shiva, the first 7 days of mourning, remembering Joan Blum, wife of the late Ivan Blum, mother of Susie and Andrew, Jennifer and Adam, and Stephen, grandmother of Ivy and Julia, Macy and Jonah, and Kevin and Caitlin. We're in a period of Shloshim, the first 30 days of mourning, for Esther Berg, Benjamin Wolf, Lila Margulies, and Jay Teitelbaum. And it's the yard site, the anniversary of the passing of Sally Adickman, Jenny Sickle Bachman, Samuel Baller, Leo Julian Berg, Irving Biber, Sadie S. Davis, Arthur Doran, Cecilia Brint Farber, Murray Feldman, Howard Daniel Fink, Leslie I. Fischel, Irving L. Helfman, Edith Horowitz, David Kent, Carl Kleiman, Pinchas Kleiman, Emma Klauber Lichtenstein, Max A. Lichtenstein, Jack Lowe, Florette Lang Lowy, Harvey M. Mand, Ben Miller, Harry Millman, Marie Mueller, Sarah Gans Mulhern, Ursula Muschel, Louis J. Nass, Ada Jan Pavey, Max Pilkman, Dora Podolsky, Ruth Protzel, Rosalie W. Radler, Rose Reese, Rose Brell Rabinowitz, Amelia Rom, David Rose, Myron David Rutkin, Gaston Sadowski, Edith Samuels, Sigmund Schwabacher, Bertie Schlosser Schwabacher, Max Schwartzstein, Jerome Marie Seid, Harold Seligson, Jane Levy Shaw, Abe Silberman, Betty Kessler Sachin, Abraham Henry Stoneberg, and Alan M. Zashin. And as has become our tradition, we remember those killed by gun violence just this past week in our country. Ashley Otwell of Tulsa, Edwin Carrillos of Dallas, Sarah Gonzalez of Tulsa, Nicholas Tavel Grady of Wade, North Carolina, Anaway Mackey of Tulsa, and Autumn Valian of Houston. And we rise as one sacred community as we recite the words of Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, v'agalau v'zman kari v'imru, amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'almei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, V'yitadar v'yitale v'yitalal shemei dekudasha barichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chaim, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Osei shalom b'imromav, huya se shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Zichronam livraha, may their memories be a blessing. Please be seated. And before we get to Kiddush and Motzi and begin to wrap up our service, a couple of announcements in your orders of worship. We have our concert, our Andy Statman concert. A couple of questions about how long it's going to be. It will be about an hour. And it's going to be a really exciting evening, outdoor chapel, great music, great company. We hope you'll join us. And you'll notice on your orders of worship, our high holiday information has officially gone out. They are coming. We are all ready and excited. Make sure to register for tickets. You do have to sign up to receive your tickets. So fill out the registration form online so we know how many to expect. Please. And with that, let's do it.
Here we go. You know what to do, everyone. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh bereshit, ki hu yom techila lemikra'e kodesh, zecher litziat Mitzrayim, kivanu bacharta ve'otanu kidashta
כל העמים בשבת קודשך באהבה וברכה.
L'chaim.
L'chaim.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Save that for after I'm done singing. We are going to conclude with a nigun, a wordless melody that just says exactly how we feel. Shabbat Shalom. We hope that you have a wonderful, restful, peaceful weekend. And thank you for being a part of this Shabbat Nachamu, this Shabbat of consolation. It is always indeed a consolation, no matter what is happening in the world, to get to join together in song and in prayer as one TBJ community. Please join us. Yalla, la, la, la.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. We'll see you
Shabbat
soon.
Shalom.